my name is Lee Bushmaker. This video will go over how to interpret your ESOP stock certificate. The description in this next part of the video is from a previous year's certificate, but the logic and how the statement flows is exactly the same going forward. If you have further questions, feel free to call us in St. Paul. Thanks a lot. Now I'm going to get into the company stock certificate. Now this is, you'll be getting these on the front end of July each year. What I hope to do now is kind of pull the curtain back a little bit and explain how this statement actually reads. And it's pretty sweet. I mean, right up there at the top, you got your name, and then right below it, your ESOP balance. And it'll make you smile when you get these this year, because we did a great job as a company, and that was reflected in our valuation. All right, so that big balance up there is your total ESOP balance. Now down on the lower right-hand corner of the certificate, you'll see your vested account balance. Now vesting was covered in that ESOP 101 video, so if you have questions on that, watch that 13-minute video. So this certificate, it shows their years of service right up there in the center. Now, when their years of service equals 7 years of service, then that person is going to be fully vested in their company stock or their ESOP allocations. So on that lower right-hand corner, if you have anything less than 7 years, it's going to be less than that big number up top. That big number up top is yours. You just got to put in the years of service in order for it to become wholly yours. All right, it's just a matter of time. And I like vesting. Vesting rewards loyalty. If you're here for a long time, you're going to accumulate a lot of shares, and you're going to be fully vested in those shares. It's a beautiful thing. There's all you have to do is talk to a 15-year employee here at EPS and ask them about how the ESOP is. Ask them if what I'm saying is true, if it's as substantial for the newer employees. Because if you're a 15-year employee, you already know it. And you're going to know it even more when you get the certificate coming up here on the front end of July. Now, up top here, it starts where this is your balance as of the last year that we closed. Down at the bottom here, this is the balance as of the end of 2017. It's what our most recent statements will be showing. All this activity in between shows where you started, activity for the year, in this case 2017, and where you ended up. That's why this number at the center, at the top of your statement, is equal to the number down at the bottom right of all the activity. All right, so going through the lines, we got our starting balance. Second line down from there goes over the ESOP contribution. This will be the 2017 ESOP contribution, and it's going to be big this year. It's a big deal. Take that number and divide it by your annual compensation and look at what percent you're getting in company stock each year. It is substantial, and it is true ownership in the company. And what those shares are worth that you just got issued in 2017, what they're worth in 2020, 2021, that's up to each of us, kind of thing. Our efforts generate value, which it translates into a stock price. All right. So that first line, that's a big, beautiful one. Now that line is going to be more meaningful to a newer employee because you're getting the fresh shares coming in. Some other lines, like the next line, the investment income and change in stock value, for like a 15-year plus employee, that's going to be a very interesting line too, because our stock price went up 46%. So all those shares that you've accumulated in the past, they just got increased by 46% because of the value that we created for 2017. Also in that line, that investment income and change in stock value, that's where, like, if we have excess income, and I'm not going to go too far into that, but when we do the ESOP transactions each year, sometimes there's excess income that we got to put into the plan. That's also in that line, as well as the stock price appreciation from all the shares that you've accumulated in previous years. All right, next line, match contributions. This is where that 401k match flows in. The match cash goes over to the ESOP side of the plan, and each year when we buy back shares, that match cash is converted into stock. All right, so a lot of people will ask, I'm not seeing this dollar for dollar match. Where is it? I feel like I'm missing something, or I'm not getting something that I deserve. Your match cash will show up on the certificate each year. So you'll get told about the match once a year, just like we get told about the stock price once a year, because we get valued once a year. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a slow-moving animal. But to be valued once a year is, you can take a very rational, clear look at how the company's doing, stamp a value on it, and then they'll say, we'll see you next year. As opposed to the current, like the stock market, the US economy is being valued as we speak. You know, something happens in the world, it gets affected. It can be very emotional. Having a once a year valuation is a beautiful thing. It's a slow moving animal and it can be frustrating in today's world of, I want to know right now, but it's a beautiful thing as a company and our valuation. So plan reallocations. Each year, people that are partially vested and they cash out their company stock balance, let's say a 3-year employee leaves. They're only partially vested. They raise their hand and say, hey, I want to cash out my vested balance. Any unvested balance gets immediately reallocated each year to each of us. Next up, we got account adjustments. Now this line is used for when an account gets split up in a divorce or goes into a beneficiary's name or any other miscellaneous accounting adjustments that we did within our ESOP. And shares sold or repurchased. You're going to see an amount of cash leaving the cash column, and then you're buying an equal number of shares as far as that cash is converted into company stock. So in this case, they lost that amount of money there, but it translated right over into this next column for the company stock.